in your defense, Tony. The second defense is that it is also contained in your letter. Binasa ko that you were telling this the committee in your report that like other franchises, dapat mabigyan din kayo ng privilege na yon. Am I correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, because in the franchises of others, there is that particular stipulation on the resort to cooperatives, which a phrase is not found in the franchise of SMNI.
Are you trying to tell this committee na when this Congress would approve the grant of franchises, pare-parehas ang wording? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, Your Honor.
Iba-iba. Rolex, in your answers to the queries of the Honorable Nograles, napansin ko, dadalawa lang yung depensa na ginagamit mo eh. Number one, yung letter na sinasabi po nyo dated June 30, 2022. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Was this a separate letter for you to ask, according to you, to ask question from the committee? Or this was part of your annual report?
Well, I think it's a separate letter, Your Honor.
No. May I ask COMSEC if this was a separate letter or part of the report submitted by Suarasog?
The Honorable Attorney Marvick.
Your Honors, the letter referred to by Attorney Suplico and SMNI is part of the documents submitted to the committee as their annual report for 2020.
So, per record, Attorney Suplico, this is not a separate letter for you to ask guidance. It was part of your annual report.
Well,
Would you agree now?
Well, I accept.
Yes.
May error, Your Honor.
Number two, I have read your letter. I have it in my hand. Nowhere did you ask any question from the committee. Nowhere. I cannot see you asking a question to the committee. Now, may I know, can you point out to me any part of your letter which you have mentioned? Did you ask any question or any guidance from this committee regarding your franchise?
Actually, Your Honor, there was another letter sent to the SEC. However, it was shown to me.
No. We're
No.
talking
On
about
that
your
particular letter.
communications with this committee. That is the purview of my queries this afternoon, Attorney.
Okay, I take responsibility, Your Honor, if ever.
So in
The
other
request
words,
is that
you
it
are
is not-
admitting that there is no question here.
Well, Your Honor,
If you want, you can read it.
well, it was explained to me that there was a request and we should
And-
wait for the response.
may I
No,
know-
no, no.
may I know who told you that?
Well, members of our staff in the
Attorney,
Niloko ka
you
ng
want,
staff mo.
we can give him a copy of the letter, then you can read it yourself. I mean, you're the one who
Well, I
furnishes the copy.
I'm sorry. I take the word the gentleman who is my upperclassman
That,
as true, Your
that there
Honor.
was no question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes.
He's an honorable person and I respect him for that.
Thank you, Attorney. So in other words, wala po kayong guidance na hiniling sa committee. That is your first defense. Kanina pa dun sa mga tanong ni the Honorable Migs Nograles. So I'm just debunking your defense, Tony. The second defense is that it is also contained in your letter. Binasa ko that you were telling this the committee in your report that like other franchises, dapat mabigyan din kayo ng privilege na yon. Am I correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, because in the franchises of others, there is that particular stipulation on the resort to cooperatives, which a phrase is not found in the franchise of SMNI.
Are you trying to tell this committee na when this Congress would approve the grant of franchises, pare-parehas ang wording? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, Your Honor.
Iba-iba. Different franchise,
Bill
different,
drafting.
di ba? Dito sa sulat mo, Sinabi mo, Republic Act number 10637, an act granting Cotabato Light and Power Company. It's a different franchise with Suarasog. So why would you compare a pig to a cow? When in fact, Congress takes cognizance of each and every individual application for the grant of franchise.
I thought that the provision on
May-
this,
You thought?
yes, Your Honor.
You
I
thought
think
it
that the,
ano?
Mr.
You thought?
Mr. Chairman, the provision on the dispersal of ownership applies to all public utilities, which are franchise grantees.
That
They
is your
could be-
assumption.
They could be worded in a different manner. And bill drafting with respect to franchises have evolved so far. And the phrase resort to cooperatives appear in some of the franchises granted by this committee.
I agree. But will you accept that every franchise application is different from other applications for franchise?
I accept, Your Honor.
Yes. And therefore, you cannot compare a cow with a pig or a carabao with a bird. Tama?
I beg to differ, Your Honor, because of the policy on the dispersal of ownership.
Look, are you trying to tell me that the provision on the dispersal of ownership in your franchise is exactly the same as Republic Act number 10637, 10753?
No, Your Honor. Ours is a broadcast franchise. The others are TU franchises,
Therefore,
distribution utility franchises.
therefore, your argument here is not accepted. Why? Because you are claiming na dapat meron din kayong establishment of cooperatives phrase sa inyong franchise, which Congress did not intend to do so. Otherwise, it would have placed that phrase there if that is the intent of Congress. Tama?
Well, Your Honor, I will
Hindi,
espouse.
tinatanong kita, tama ba?
No, Your Honor, I will
You've
espouse a
been-
different
you've
view, but
been-
I respect the gentleman for it.
You have been a part of this Congress.
For 9 years, Your Honor.
Yes. At alam mo naman na kung gumagawa tayo ng batas, the legislative intent is paramount.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And therefore, if it is not placed there by the Congress, it is not the intent of Congress for you to avail of that provision or phrase. Tama?
But we thought, Your Honor, that
Tama?
this committee could elucidate on the
Tama.
requirement of cooperatives.
Tama? Hindi mo
I think-
sinasagot yung tanong ko.
Well, on the, maybe, Your Honor, on the statutory construction principle of verba leges, yes, Your Honor, you may be right.
Yes. Kasi iba-iba ang trato ng Kongreso sa bawat individual application ng franchise. And I think you know that. They were just arguing like the defense counsel that I expected to.
Well-
Di ba?
I have no other choice, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Cong.Acop.